So what that is we're going to teach people how to steal bikes.
Oh, no.
In broad daylight, in front of a crowd of people.
Nice. Well, because as soon as Corona's back, it's going to be only crowds.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you want to steal a bike, we'll show you how.
Check out the tube. All right. I'm going to hit him with an intro. Hello and welcome. This is the Nickolas Natali Show. I am your host, Nickolas Natali. We have the most special guest of all time, Rast.
What's going on? And thank you for the intro. I can take that special many ways, so I appreciate it anyways. And I have heard that too in many different forms. So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm happy to have you. We're gonna start off. Here we go. I'm gonna start off with a little teaser. First of all, Rob, adventurous guy. You live life, love life. Most recent endeavor is crowdfunding 1.3 milli in 24 hours. But we're not gonna talk about that quite yet. That's just gonna be a little. There's gonna be a little taste in their mouth that they'll want to savor toward the end. We're gonna start with 21-year-old Rob, 2010. You're living in China. You start your first company. Tell me if this is the correct name. California Rast Trading. Boom.
That's it. He's done his research. California Rast Trading Company. That was my very first company. Epic failure. It's so bad. What do you know about it? Have you looked into that at all?
Okay, so here's what I know. I know you were importing California wine into China. That was the strategy. Mm-hmm. What was going through your head, and what was the big failure? Why? What happened?
All right. So since being a kid, it was always a lifelong goal of mine to run my own business, start my own company. That was bucket list, high up there, top 3 on my bucket list.
Nice.
Own my own company because I was always entrepreneurial and loved kind of creating things.
Yeah.
Now I had moved to China in 2009, dropped out of college.
Yeah. You don't need that. Forget that.
Yeah. Who needs that?
Yeah.
I had a mentor who was always telling me, "Hey, if you want to be successful, you got to go to China and learn Mandarin Chinese."
Oh wow.
It's actually my mentor who kind of swayed me to leave college and go to China. And I was there about a year and a half, and I met this guy who, he was a businessman in China. Started chatting with him, and I'm like, great, new mentor in China.
Yeah, beautiful.
Can't beat that. I didn't know it at the time, but he turned out to be just a total huckster.
A huckster?
Total huckster. He would say all this. He's wearing fake watches.
Oh, no.
Just pretending to be way more successful than he was
yeah.
and actually know what he's doing in business. But he was just borrowing money and just awful. But he had started this liquor company where he was selling Chinese baijiu, which is rice liquor. It's awful. Tastes like gasoline and bleach mixed together.
Oh, my gosh.
Just the worst. But he's making it for like $2 and selling it for $60 a bottle.
Oh, shoot. That's a good profit margin.
Right? It's 30,000% profit margin. You can't complain about that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if this guy's doing that with this crap, how about some quality California wine?
That's a good thought. I mean, it
Light
really
bulb
is.
went off right there. Yeah, and it's a huge drinking culture over there in Asia. So I started making some calls and figuring out how I can start my wine company in China.
Nice. So there you are. You're learning Mandarin along the way, which is pretty dope. But then I don't even understand how you fulfill this dream. First of all, like you moved to China, and then now you're finding. Is it manufacturers back here in California now? And now you're taking that to China. Where is the failure? Where did it go wrong?
It went wrong at the very genesis of that idea. I mean, it's a successful idea is all about the execution. And I had no idea how to execute for one. But for zero, to precede that, I wasn't passionate about wine at all. I didn't give a shit about wine.
Yeah.
I don't even like drinking. Like I was doing it back then.
Yeah.
But not a terrible amount, and I didn't enjoy it either. So if I had been passionate about wine, I would have been able to figure out how to make it work. Instead, I was just spinning my wheels the whole time. And to go from zero to having that company, I just got to start somewhere. So just started throwing that idea out there, asking if anybody knew how I could get in with wine people. I found a guy who's inside Napa to supply the wine.
Wow.
And then just going around China, government building to government building, trying to register this business.
Yeah.
Took about...
Which I imagine is a process.
Oh, my God, yeah. I did about 9 months of my life working full-time to register a business.
Oh, my gosh. Just to register it.
With an agent helping me. Like, I was paying, and people were asking us, like, where's our bikes? What's going on?
Yeah.
And so we had to, like, show them what's going on. So instead of just typing something out, I'm like, look, we're working our fucking asses off here at the factory. Ran into an unfortunate problem, and we want to make the bike better for you. And I'm going to show you how. And being able to communicate through that that method through video was so powerful.
Because they could actually see it.
Yeah. So kind of discovered Casey Neistat a little bit through that, and adopted a lot of like the quick cuts and like, filming like the car door and stuff like that. And it really made it fast paced. So that was one big inspiration. And I loved how he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
At the time, I was just so impressed. Like, he'd sit and he'd pull a folding table in the middle of just like people walking by, like hundreds of people walking by, and he's just talking to the camera and not giving a fuck. And I was so amazed by that. Yeah. It's kind of inspiring and empowering for any content creator, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That takes some cojones. I kind of want to touch on the Indiegogo thing because, first of all, it came from an idea, right, that you didn't want your market to solely be like upscale rich people for these boards. You wanted everybody to have it, make it more accessible. Mm-hmm. So you did a volume group buy. Am I on track? And then
it is on track. Yeah.
And then what was the problem? Because I think there's a huge learning lesson in there, and I want to know what it was.
Yeah. So when we first started the company, FLX. It just came from an idea to make an electric bike that was cool and that you'd be proud to ride. Yeah. Because everything on the market at the time was just had like all these wires everywhere. It's ugly, poor performance, and expensive.
And bulky.
Like a nice one would be like $6,000. So
you gotta love it.
Exactly. So my partner and I, we're coming up with our own designs and stuff and trying to figure out how to launch this. Like we can do it. And through that research, we actually came across a company that was wildly successful on Indiegogo before. And they had done like $6 million in a 2-month campaign. Yeah. And so, as you mentioned earlier with your style, you can imitate in the beginning. I love to see how other people have been successful. And I saw, okay, somebody's used this platform to launch a very successful bike. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this platform. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to find out how they advertised, and I'm going to take what they've started and build on that and make it better. Yeah. And that's how we launched. So that was about 9 months just building up to the launch of that. And then in 2 months, this is in 2016, we did raise $2 million.
Oh my gosh.
In 60 days. And it just, our goal was like 50,000. We had no idea what to expect. Yeah. We worked our asses off. Yeah. Spent every last penny in my bank account in the marketing. Yeah. And it paid off. And we had so many orders that we're like, okay, we were expecting to ship these in 2 or 3 months. It might be a little longer than that. Yeah. So, we just kind of had to learn as we went and do the best we could. And we did eventually deliver every single bike except for a couple in like Dubai or something where we couldn't ship them. But we refunded those and moved on.
Dang, that's crazy. That's insane that you pulled it all off.
Right?
Like imagining $50,000 and then getting $2 million is is a huge difference.
Hell yeah.
But that's dope.
So that was very exciting. So we were able to launch the bike for under $1,000. Dang. Which was our goal. And it competed with bikes that were like $4,000 and $5,000. Yeah. So we were super hyped on that. And that's one of the main contributors to the success. Having the best product at the best price is always the best marketing strategy. Yeah.
And actually making it, actually bringing the value, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm curious though. I want to take it back even one more step.
Sure.
I want to know, was this what is it? Conception? Is that conceiving of the e-bike idea? Was it really on a bike trip with a former girlfriend having to go 500 miles or whatever around an island?
So that was one of the contributing factors to this. There were a few key defining moments that kind of led to this in my life. And Pete, my co-founder, I'm sure he's got his as well.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until we met and started hashing out that all of our past experience kind of put that on the table, and we're like, that's it.
Yeah.
Bike company.
Yeah.
So
what happened? What really happened on that trip?
all right, so
give me the lowdown.
I've always been into bikes, speed, motorcycles my whole life.
Yeah.
And I just love being active, getting out. We were living in Hainan Island. This is the girlfriend who I registered my company.
Oh,
under.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So this is like relationship, just trying to make it work. And we got a big little place there in Hainan. It's like $400 a month for a 2-bedrooms penthouse, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And so we had extra room. So I had it on couch surfing, and people would come through that city, stay at the place.
That's
and a bunch
dope.
of
Good for
bikers
you.
would come through. So bicyclists would come through on a trip they would do around the island. It's kind of like this big monumental trip for Chinese people around Hainan Island. It's about 500 miles.
Oh my gosh.
And my ex, she had expressed, she's like, hey, like that looks like fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
These guys look like they're having fun. So for Valentine's Day, I think it was, I bought her a bike for her birthday.
Nice. What a guy. Sweet,
And it was a road bike. She couldn't use it. So I bought another bike. So I bought a mountain bike. I was like, all right, you use this one. I'll use the road bike. And like, let's go do this trip. And it's Chinese New Year. So you get like a week off of work, a week or two. And we had trained for this a little bit. When I say trained, I mean, I trained. And she did like 2 rides. And then
rode around the block once or twice.
yeah, exactly. We packed up the bikes, like loaded mine up with all the gear, and hers was pretty free. And then we hit the roads. And I think we did is a long way. It was 100 miles or 100 kilometers on the first day.
Dang.
Get to the beach right at sunset, pitch the tent, go to bed, and wake up the next morning. She turns to me. She's like, oh, I can't. She's like screaming. She's like, I can't move my legs. Oh, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, like let's have a bite to eat. See if you're all right.
Yeah.
And
Carbo load. Let's get back in it.
and she couldn't do it. She's like, I can't ride any longer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, we can go back, or I can go on.
Yeah.
And so we grabbed the bikes, went to a bus stop, and I took the wheel off her bike, loaded on the bus. And I was like, all right, I'll see you at home.
Yeah. I got this, babe. Don't even worry about it. I'll do it for us.
So I got her the bus home, and I couldn't go back. I wasn't doing it. I don't go back. So
yeah. And you trained. You were, when you train for something, your mindset is, I gotta finish
when you
this.
set out to do something, you finish it. I knew she was all right. She'd get back home, and she did just fine. But I couldn't go back. Wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I did this bike trip by
Solo,
myself,
yeah.
and it sucked. It was miserable. The one nice day was like one day, I had a 1-day break in the south of the island where I had a beach day, and then I was back on the bike, and there were like typhoons.
Oh my gosh.
I had this huge rash developing on both legs, and I'm into fitness my whole life. I had been working so hard in the gym to build some muscle.
Yeah.
I'm a hard gainer. And on this 1-week trip, I had lost about 10 pounds of muscle. It was probably about like a year or 2 years of progress in the gym, just gone like that. I was literally cursing the wind. I was up against 20, 30 mile an hour typhoon winds. I swear I was going backwards at some point.
Oh my god.
It's like pouring rain, beating on me.
Just staying in place.
I was just like, oh, fuck. To save time, because I was trying to get back to work too. I was on the highway. It was so dumb, with no helmet, typhoon winds blowing me, getting rained on. And I pitched my tent. I couldn't make it to a highway exit before nightfall. And I wasn't going to ride at night and just become roadkill. So I just dragged my bike up this hill.
Oh my gosh.
There's a little banana tree forest, and I pitched my tent in there. And then it starts pouring rain, and I'm like between these banana trees, so it's just a big divot.
Little valley, yeah.
And it turns into a little swimming pool inside my
gosh.
tent. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Just laying there with their eyes open. What am I doing here? How did this happen to me?
Exactly. So I got back like the next day or two, and I was just puking my guts out from exhaustion when I got back too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never ever doing a long bicycle trip again. I love riding bikes, but there's a limit where you get to a point of diminishing returns. And for me, that's like 30 minutes, an hour. Like, hey, this is fun. And after that, like, I'm losing body mass. I'm bored.
Yeah.
I want to go fast. I love to see places. I want to get there.
Yeah.
And so motorcycles became that until the light bulb went off with with Pete, and we're like,
Yeah.
we can do bikes faster.
Yeah.
We can have more fun on these things.
Yeah. So now you can go wherever for however long. You know?
Exactly.
You're keeping the fun in biking.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Making biking fun again for the folks who maybe don't appreciate those long, grueling distances.
Yeah, geez. That's that's a brutal way to come to fruition of what your next company is going to be.
Oh my God, it's rough.
And let me know if I'm wrong with this too. Was there 2 or 1 companies in between FLX Bike and the wine?
There was another company I started about the same time as the bike company, maybe a couple weeks earlier. And I was, so after the wine company, I got introduced by my mentor again to the Rast.
The shady guy or the guy from...
The good mentor.
Oh, okay.
Good mentor, American mentor, Scott Powell, just an awesome dude. He runs some like airports up in Sacramento, sells the fuel to private jets. And he said, hey, my fuel supplier is trying to break into China. They're looking for a front guy to bring them in. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like, I've been learning Chinese all this time. It's time to go. So I got this. It was a great job. And I was doing that about 2 years. And we were just banging our heads in China. Couldn't get past a bunch of government stuff. And I was kind of spinning my wheels. At the same time, because I was into fitness, I was having a lot of trouble finding protein in China.
Really?
It would be fake, or it'd be $140 for like 5-pound container.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, who would buy that? Yeah, exactly. And so I was just slamming raw eggs every day and sugar, and I got salmonella once.
Did you?
No big deal.
No.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know if that would really happen. That's wild.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm pretty sure it was some sort of food poisoning that lasted quite a few days, and I got over that. Kept doing the eggs until I found raw whey protein, the ingredient. I found a source for that, and I started mixing that with like cocoa powder and sugar, trying to make it taste a little better. And then people in the gym started asking like, yo, what is that? Can I try it? It seems to work for you.
Yeah.
And the light bulb went off. I'm like, I'm not the only one with this problem.
Yeah,
I bet there's a load of other people who can't get a good protein for a good price. Yeah. And so I quit my job, broke up with the girl. Then it was another girlfriend at that time. And
the company or the girl, you can only have one at a time.
Yeah, I got a long history here, going Maverick, jumping out the airplane. But it just completely freed me up to focus and start my nutrition company. I came up with these awesome formulas that were super clean, based them off protein that I liked in the States. Yeah. And then I took the shit out that I didn't like aspartame, ACE-K sweeteners, sweetened it with stevia.
Nice.
And launched that in China. And that was pretty cool. Like I didn't get to put a lot of time in it because I met Pete and we started the bike company soon after. But it was really cool to have a product that I believed in and share that with the world.
Yeah. So you just find a solution to a problem and then you just go for it. What's your go for it strategy then? What would you say?
Do something. It's always start somewhere. You never know what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't need to know what to do. You can do one thing. Just figure out what's one thing that I can get that will bring me closer to the goal of having this. So I knew with the nutrition company, well, for starters, I need to have a protein that tastes good. Yeah. So I just started working in the kitchen, just testing things out and seeing, does this taste good to me? And when it comes to product design, a lot of people do like focus groups and things like that and all sorts of surveys. And you can spend 6 months, a year surveying the data. And I'm not saying that's a bad way, but if you haven't got a huge budget for that and a lot of time to put into it,
it's hard.
Why not just build it for yourself? And so I built the protein for me. I was like, I want a protein that tastes good and is good. And I designed it around exactly what I wanted. Yeah. And I was lucky that there were other people like me who also wanted a clean protein and also didn't want to pay $150 a bottle for it. And we did the same thing with the bikes. We're like, what would be the sickest electric bike we could make? Yeah. It's going to be fast. It's going to be sexy. People are going to look at it and be like, damn, I want that. Yeah. And we built that for us. And we're lucky that, 2,000 people around the world also loved that and bought one when we launched.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
So that was our launch strategy. Just do something, build it for you. If you haven't got better data than that, who's a better target audience than yourself and people like you?
Did you have any hesitation quitting your job to jump into either of those companies? Because from what I read, one of them was a high-paying aviation job.
That's correct.
Which I think that would be tempting if you have something that's high paying already, and you like aviation and flying and the adrenaline.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that was. I mean, it was a sweet gig. I was like 23 years old at the time, making over 100K a year. Just laughing. I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I was making some money, and I was doing a great job for my company too. And we got to China with them, and it just was not fulfilling anymore. I was being kind of micromanaged, and the things we were doing were very low value tasks, and I just couldn't see it anymore, and I wasn't passionate about it either.
Yeah.
And at that time, they had asked me, they said, "Hey, we need you to come back to America." It was always a kind of a back and forth with them.
Yeah.
They loved having me in America because I was great at it.
Yeah.
But I didn't spend 5 years in China to go work at an American tech company. And so it was super easy for me. I'm like, all right, guys, like, I love you, but now it's time, hop out of this jet, hit the parachute, and wherever I land, I'm going to figure it out and do something new. I love those moments. It's so freeing. You got an open book to figure out what's next.
Yeah. Dang, that's awesome. Was it how has it been since you are a maverick kind of guy of, I'm just going to do this solo. I'm going to get this down, whatever it takes. I'm going to figure it out. How's it been having a co-founder? Has it been relieving? Has it been communication? You got to learn that part of it, or
it's interesting. It's almost like a marriage. It's so
gotta be on the same page.
So interesting. And both Pete and I have been our whole lives, that kind of maverick style.
Yeah.
We've got an interesting situation where, typically a business, you've got like a visionary and somebody who's more
technical.
Yeah, technical or details oriented, and we're both visionary and both maybe don't have the best keen eye for details, like all the HR stuff and things like that. And so when we met, we're like, oh damn, like we're a powerful force here. We're both like, when we do something, we go and get it done. So we started doing that. But since then it's been great. We'll play off each other. He'll find faults in my work and the other way around, and what we produce together is much stronger than what we could have produced solo. So that's been great. It does slow down the process because I'm slowing down his work by saying, hey, I think,
what about that?
What if we tried it this way? And he's doing the same thing to me. But at the end of the day, we come up with much better ideas and have a much better product.
Yeah, the quality's much better.
Yeah.
What's the saying? You can go far by yourself, but you can go further together. Something
like that. Yeah, totally true. Totally true.
Yeah, I think so.
One amazing thing about working with Pete is so passionate. And so at the launch of the company, I had done my wine business, and then I did the protein business, and I was putting everything I could into that. Then he came on to do the bikes together, and he was there. He was doing like 16, 18-hour days only on the bikes.
Oh, man.
And so I'm like, fuck, we're 50-50 partners.
Yeah,
if I don't match this, this is going to be really, really shitty on my part. So I had to match his effort.
Dang.
And the combined effort of us both working 120-hour weeks nonstop, that's what really led to the results in the first campaign. You put in the work, you get it done.
Yeah, you're bound to get something when you guys are both. That's awesome, though, that you guys both are rising to each other's whatever capacity, because I feel like there's the opposite of, you could also lower to each other's capacity. So finding a co-founder that's gonna shoot for the same is pretty. It's almost, I don't want to say lucky, but it's pretty blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe because we're both competitive. Pete was like a boxer for a while too, and we were both into fitness, and maybe we were competing to see who could grind harder.
Yeah,
that really helped.
How much has that? How much it has having your feet wet in China helped with FLX bike?
Tremendously. We would not be here at all probably if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
From the start. So our first step there was from the genesis of this idea. We're like, well, maybe there's a bike already being made here or developed by a Chinese factory that we can just bring to the West.
Yeah.
And so we just went around China, factory to factory, contacting factories, and all of our negotiations and everything is in Chinese, and we're letting them know,
and you speak it. Thank goodness. I was going to say.
So we'd go to the factories, and Pete would do the English guy, and I
Hey
would
guys.
do I would bust out the Chinese halfway
Yeah.
through, and
Yeah.
and being able to build those relationships and kind of understand the culture with them, that was huge. But we eventually found a company that was willing to build our prototypes with us in a very low volume, cost effective way, where we could do the design and they would build it for us, and that was huge. Without that, we would never have FLX bikes.
How did you? So I'm interested. I've been like dabbling in the worlds of drop shipping and e-commerce. Like
Okay.
I am so fascinated by it. I've just been studying around the clock of how the best ones do it. But one of the things that seems to be a key problem for almost all of them is how the heck in the world do you find a good manufacturer? Because if you go on Alibaba or AliExpress, they have ratings, you know, like this is a 4.5 manufacturer. I don't know if that's true, you
Yeah.
know, unless I go over there and check them out, but I can't go over and check out 100 manufacturers before I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go with this one to make my dog penless or whatever the product is.
Yeah, totally. That's a good point. So whenever you have a system like that people sort to get a ranking, people are going to find ways to manipulate it. So
Right.
you see with Amazon
Yeah.
is filled with fake ratings.
Yeah.
Alibaba, same thing. Chinese, Amazon equivalent, same exact thing. So you just don't know who to trust. What we do is we'll go to the actual factory. And the biggest thing you'll see is, especially on Alibaba, is people pretending to be companies. The 90% of the ones there, they don't actually manufacture it. They're a trading company that has contacted 100 factories making 100 different things.
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, we make this thing. And then they're marking it up, and they're 30, 50% to you. So you're not getting the best price. If you want any changes, they're going to have to call the factory.
Yeah.
It's just awful. So
Yeah.
biggest thing is avoiding the trading company, making sure, you can find out the name of the actual factory. They do have business licenses for factories in China.
That's good.
Get that and find out. Make sure the name of their company is the actual factory. Maybe do some video chats with them at the factory if you can't actually physically be there.
Yeah.
But physically being there is the best way.
Is that how you found yours? Did you pull off of contacts you already knew, or?
I think we went on Alibaba.
No,
Chinese
really?
Alibaba, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're just looking electric bike, and then we'd see, okay, there's this factory in Shanghai, this one, and we see this one in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
We just did a list, hopped on the trains, and we just went for it, factory to factory. We talked to people and found out, like, these guys make cool bikes, but they're assholes. Fuck them. Let's go to the next one.
Trying to work with people I actually like.
Yeah, exactly.
And you found somebody that makes quality stuff. And that's the other thing that I think is there's so many layers to finding the right manufacturer for whatever type of product that you're selling, is because one, they have to like make your stuff and be trustworthy in communication, because they could just pull the plug on you,
Yeah.
But then two, like their materials aren't any good.
Oh, yeah.
You're
It's so important to set standards. And, there's standards for everything. What kind of product have you looked into drop shipping? Let's use that as an example. Give me one product.
I've been looking into quite a bit of stuff. I've been looking more into niches than I have products themselves.
Okay.
So I think the realm of dogs fascinates me.
Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if entirely the passion is there, but like the fact that there's some emotional pull when people are purchasing things, like, whatever that dog pendant is.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna be like, oh, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
So like a $15 to $20 necklace for their dog or something, or for themselves. That would be one. Another one, I think right now health is big.
Yeah.
In regards to like home workout. So I think the bands would be a good investment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're trying to build longevity, I don't want to hop on the trend just because quarantine's happening. I don't know.
Beautiful. So biggest thing there is to establish measurable standards and enforce them right from the start. So if you're going to do a band, then you need to know everything about bands. You need to know what standards are used to measure the type of material they're using. So is it a latex band? What's the thickness, the width, and the elasticity? I'm sure, I'm talking out of my ass right now, but I'm sure there's a measurement for a coefficient of elasticity for that band, and a tool that you can use to measure it.
Yeah.
And so when you get your shipment, you're going to tell these guys, first of all, I'm going to measure these against the spec that we've agreed on. And if it's out of this spec, I'm going to return them for a full refund.
Yeah.
So you need to establish that and enforce it like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make them sign something? Say, hey, this is how it's going to be.
Totally. That's got to be in your contract. With our guys, we've got a multi-point checklist. We've got like 100-point checklist on the bikes of exactly how it needs to be. It needs to shift through the gears this way. It needs to hit this top speed on neutral throttle run.
Yeah.
It's got to do this. It can't have any blemishes above a certain size.
Yeah.
But very, very specific about what you expect. And if it doesn't fulfill that, they'll build a whole bike. So I personally rejected probably over 500 bikes at the factory and told them, this thing's completely built. You need to do it again because you let it through with a tiny scratch on the frame.
Yeah.
Now you've got to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, because you can't sell a bike with a scratch on it.
And that's painful to them. That's a lot of labor. So they learn, fuck, we're not pulling anything over on these guys. And that's just me. Pete goes even harder on them, like
really
10 times harder than I do. So he's great on that front.
Is Pete over there in China right now?
Pete's actually headed to Europe right now, looking at starting up our European operations there.
Holy crap, you guys are going to Europe?
We are going to Europe. Yeah. So we sold a bunch there for our Baby Maker launch, and it might be a great foray for our way into Europe, but we'll keep those plans under wrap a bit for now.
Got it. All right, so let's hit the 1.3 million in 24 hours crowdfunding, because I think that like that headline, 1.3 million in 24 hours, I read that and I'm like, holy crap, how much work did they do before those 24 hours? You know what I mean? Like it's cool to say that one headline, but I'm like, oh my gosh, there's got to be so much behind that. Mm-hmm. What were you guys doing? How did you pull that off?
So there was a lot of work that did go behind that. I wish I could say that work all took place within a 24-hour span, but that's not the case at all. That was the entire team busting their ass from product design. That was about a 2-year process to get to where we are today, just to design that product. And then kind of my operation here, what I do is make sure that we can distribute it and spread the word about it. Because you can have the best product in the world. If nobody knows about it, it's a failure.
Yeah, nothing, yeah.
So I had been doing a lot of like van trips to get people on it, to build up media, directing the team to get our videos together. And we did a lot of online advertising to tell people, hey, we have this bike coming. We don't know exactly when it's going to launch, but we are going to launch it. And if you sign up, we're going to give you the sickest sweetheart discount you could imagine when we launch. And so we worked for quite some time to build up a list of very interested people. And we knew if we had enough people and enough volume, we could get the price down to a point where we could just make it so attractive for these guys. It would be stupid
not to buy it,
not to order one.
Yeah.
So we got the price under $1,000 for our launch day, which is pretty
amazing,
sick.
yeah.
For, you'd pay more than that for a normal bicycle at a bike shop.
Yeah. That's dope. That's incredible.
Long story short, all that came to fruition on launch day. We pressed the button. 2 minutes later, we had crushed the goal of 20,000. And I think within 15 minutes, we had 400,000. And then it just kept climbing from there. And we hit the million within 11 hours. Yeah. Which is just amazing for us.
Crazy.
I think it might be a crowdfunding record for Indiegogo. Yeah. Definitely for electric bikes, the fastest one to $1 million, which is pretty cool.
That's insane. That guy... NWC Digital, is that somebody you use for marketing? The guy, whoever that guy is in the video that works for NWC Digital, was so confident you guys are going to hit $1 million.
Hell
You're like, do you think it's going to hit $1 million? He's like, oh, for sure. 100%. No doubt in my mind. But something that was really cool about that video was when you guys hit $1 million, everybody was stoked, like the whole company. And I think that comes from building a culture, like where everybody's happy that this... you know what I mean? Where it's not like, oh, that's cool, the company did it. But.
Totally. Well, I mean, it's kind of like you watch a movie and the hero, you have to think of our company as the main subject of the video. The hero just gets beat down over and over again, gets hit by these obstacles, gets knocked down, and finally at the end, he triumphs and wins. Yeah. And that's what it looked like for our company. We had big challenges. We had production delays where I think we went 9 months one time with no bikes at all. And we were fighting to keep our employees employed, keep them working on stuff despite not having bikes, but keep keep people with jobs, and we lost a shit ton of money. We were bleeding money for about 9 months straight.
Oh my gosh.
Just gangbusters on blowing through money. And for that to culminate eventually in that raise in that amount of time, the team was so stoked.
Yeah.
Because we needed a big win, and everybody worked their asses off and kind of saw, wow, when we all come together and focus on something and give it our all, we can do big, big things together.
Yeah, heck yeah. How do you stay collected when you're bleeding money like that? How do you stay?
Oh man, it's tough. I've living in China, you get hit with a lot of things. From the very start, you arrive and you've got no Facebook, no Instagram.
Oh yeah,
everything's a challenge. It's hard to order food. It's all in a different language.
Yeah,
you just get hit nonstop, one thing after another. Oh, guess what? Your visa's expired, and and it's gonna take you 6 months of your life to apply for a new one.
Yeah,
full-time work, and you just get hit with one thing after another, and kind of after that, and a lot of things in my life, there's just nothing that can faze me anymore. Shit happens. That's life. Nobody said life is going to be easy, that there's not going to be any challenges. You get hit with something, and it's not about what happens. It's about what you decide to do with that and what you choose to do in reaction to that. And being stressed out about it isn't going to solve any problems.
That's for sure. Do you take out emotion when you're making decisions? Do you try to? Where do you toe the lines on having emotions be in play in decisions, I guess is the best way to put it.
I'm pretty emotionless when it comes to making decisions. I'm about 60% of the way there, and I get a lot of shit for that as well, you know, for not showing my emotions or communicating my true feelings a lot. But I just look at something and analytically think, what's our best option here?
Yeah.
Let's do that. And there is still sometimes where pride gets involved, and that can cloud your decision making, or maybe your relationship with an employee that isn't really pulling their weight in the company, but you're close, and that can drag on an employment situation for longer than it needs to be. So that is both a strength and a weakness. Not having the emotions is a strength, but having those, it's a strength to be able to connect with people. It's a weakness, though, to
let it dictate how you do things.
Not make timely business decisions that need to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds tough. That sounds
but we've made it through all that, and the whole team right now is so strong. I couldn't be more excited about the team we've gathered. Now it's taken us a while. We've had some shitheads come and go, and we've had some really amazing people too, and we're stoked about the team we got now.
Can't beat it. I'm curious about. Oh man, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm curious about where your motivation and your drive stems from, and I want to know. I'm curious if some of it comes from your dad, because I read the two stories about, which I think is fantastic. Your dad cut up a fake $50 bill and then gave you a piece of the fake 50 for 50 days while you worked out until you got a 50. And then he also tried to build a plane in your garage. Those are, I don't know, both of those seem like I'm instilling this you can do anything mantra in you. Where are you pulling it from? And did your dad have some play in that?
So my dad has huge role in that since being a kid. My dad's a big engineer and way more talented than I am when it comes to building things and putting things together. It's just amazing the things he'll come up with. And since being just tiny, he'd be working on something in the garage. He'd say, "Hey Rob, hey Ronnie, come out and help me figure out how to make a lock on this ladder." Yeah. And he would let us tinker with it and come up with ideas. He knew how to do it. He knew he could have it done in 5 minutes, but he'd let us spend hours trying to come up with a solution. Yeah. And he'd go with the shittier solution that he came up with, just to let us tinker with something and show us hey, you can build something, and now let's see how it performs. Yeah. And maybe we can learn something from that. And so he kind of always encouraged that creativity and curiosity as well. I remember one time I got in trouble in school because there's the lamination on the edge of the table. Yeah. And I had figured out you could get the sharp side of a pen into there, and I was just digging it up, trying to see what the table was made out of. And I got I got like the worst red card or something you could get at school for breaking their equipment. And my dad was like, well, he's just curious. He was trying to find out what was in there.
Yeah, what's really going on with this thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was stupid what I did, but like he understood. He's been there. So yeah, he instilled that a lot in me. And I think he had a big ego growing up, like always wanted to be the best. And I think he gave me a lot of that. I was, genetically, I'm short. I got a small dick, so maybe I got to work harder than the rest of the people out there. Maybe that's been a little chip on my shoulder to make me work even harder to provide value and get that recognition that I think everybody wants to get in life.
Yeah. But it's twofold. Because I think there's the other side of you that is constantly trying to provide value to make, the community or the world or whoever your product is impacting. I do believe that you are trying to make it better, like have people's lives be more efficient and better because of who you are. So do you think some of it is also you are striving to be better versions of yourself so you can be better for other people?
100,000,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my whole life, maybe that's for my dad too, the classic engineer, trying to figure out how to do things better.
Yeah.
And from an engineering standpoint, every little thing at home, they were showing us, how can you do this better?
Yeah.
When it came to using the sponge or washing your dishes, we get in trouble. Like, there's a better way to do this where you don't waste as much soap, or where the countertops show.
That sounds like such an engineer.
Cleaner.
Oh
exactly.
Gosh.
In now, I've got crazy OCD now when my employees like leave a wet countertop or leave the wet sponge in the bottom of the sink to get all full of germs. I'll freak out. I'll flip out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just thinking, how can I use the same energy and get a better result? Yeah. So my whole life I've dedicated to trying to become a better me, trying to figure out how to be smarter, faster, stronger. In every way, I read a lot of self-help books, a lot of books about marketing, basically anything I want to achieve. Just read about it and learn, how can I do this better?
Yeah.
And by bettering yourself, by being your best self, I think you can contribute more, and you'll also get a lot more in return. Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the most selfless person. Yeah. I do it for me. Like, I want to be the best. I want to have the best life. And I don't think you can do that without providing a lot of value for the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think, even from what I've just learned through doing this podcast is people are so three-dimensional, and you really cannot almost fully encapsulate who someone is in just a matter of words, because the way I see you act is you're helping other people by serving with them and collaborating with them, but you're also grinding on working on yourself to make yourself better. And because you're working on yourself, it makes other people better. It's such a weird, continuous cycle that it's almost hard to, I'm not going to say explain, but you know what I mean? Hold on to in a way where you can analytically say, okay, if I spend an hour on myself a day, that's going to mean 3 hours go to other people. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally. So it's key here. It is trying to do this without getting math involved for the nerds. It's kind of like calculus. Everything is a function of time. Okay. And if we look at ourselves, we have a very finite life. You just have a set number of years to live based on a number of factors. But you're definitely not going to live forever. And so for me, I'm not going to be happy unless I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I'm better tomorrow than I was today. And when I get into relationships and stuff like that, there's a big feeling of, for me, I can get resentment if I'm not with the right partner who's encouraging me to continue doing that. Yeah. Because my mission is to be better and to do things better and to give more and also to get more out of life. But if I'm sitting there fucking watching Netflix all day,
that's hard.
Eating Twinkies or whatever, and I'm losing my games. I haven't contributed anything to society. I'm gonna feel like shit. Unfortunately, maybe that's a blessing. Maybe it's a curse. I think it's a little bit of both. But I want to do more than I did yesterday. Every single day of my life. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat, and I haven't fully figured it out. I'm just gonna word it like that because I think there is part of me that is fully achiever mode where I can't sit still. Like I think you and I are probably similar of like you wake up and you think about work and what you have to do and then you do it and then you do that all day and then you go to sleep and then you wake up and you're like, oh, what else do I have to do?
Right.
Got to do? Like it's almost like this obsessive sense of like I have these things that I want to do and things that I want to live out, and I'm capable of doing them. So why doesn't every minute go into that?
Yeah.
Because I want to live like that, and I'm going to work at that. And I don't know where. That's fine. I don't know entirely where the point of health is in that. I really don't. I haven't found it yet. Where do you think it is for you? Because I think the relationship thing is so true. And that's so important to have someone that encourages you. But there's also give and take in those, So it's like, ugh.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's something I'm still figuring out myself. It's not a day goes by where I don't ask myself, what is my purpose? Why am I doing this? And trying to get a better pulse on who I am as a person and what my ultimate goal here is on this planet. Like what thing should I be doing to give the most?
Yeah.
Where I'll have the most potential to give back to this world.
Yeah.
And also, get more out of life, be more fulfilled. And I'll be honest, sitting at a computer for 18 hours a day
It's tough.
is not it.
Yeah.
That's not how I'm gonna give to the world. That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
While I'm running this Indiegogo campaign, and I'm very happy to do it. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
And the more results we'll have now, the more resources I will have to do what I truly want to be doing and what I'm truly skilled and talented at in the future.
Yeah.
So a big part of this is a learning process and learning to, I guess, delegate and teach my team and hire more people to do the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
That I don't find as fulfilling as the things that I should be doing with my time or are most talented at.
Yeah.
And that actually comes probably more to like social things and meeting up with people.
Yeah.
Like us right now. I love doing this. We're chatting.
Yeah.
I wish I could learn more about you. I wish the podcast was more about you. But meeting up with people, making videos, riding bikes, riding skateboards.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to be spending my time doing. That's why we're building these things, because they're fucking awesome to ride. So I would like to spend more time doing that in the future.
Yeah.
Get all my work, delegate it out, and go out and just share it with the world. Show people, like, you don't need to completely give up your car. You don't need to completely, give up food to have great results, to lose a little weight or have a better body.
Yeah.
You don't need to give up your car to contribute a little bit to cleaner air for the entire world.
Yeah.
If everybody contributed a little, we'd be in a much greener place. And if we show them, hey, there's these cool fucking alternatives that are fun to ride and good for the planet, I think we can make a big impact.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, the whole time thing too is such an interesting thing because exactly what you're saying, I get in the same mindset of like even being stuck at like what you're saying, the desk in the current state is almost like this, okay, I'm going to be here and I'm going to work on this thing for 18 hours because tomorrow or the next day or the next day or a month or a year out, all my time will be freed up because I did the work right now. And it's so interesting because we crave time for autonomy in our life, but we're sacrificing all of it right now.
Exactly.
So it's a double-edged sword of like, when do you?
Exactly. That's so hard. So I've got a question for you.
Okay, hit me.
All right. 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And this is an idea. I still don't know the answer to myself. I've been toying with this. Maybe you can help me out. 10 years from now, do you think you'll be making the same income, let's say hourly income as you are now, or more?
More.
More, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
You pretty confident in that?
I'm confident, yeah.
10 times more, 100 times more?
Ooh. I think there's a sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say around 10.
Okay, around 10 years from now, you'll be making about 10 times more than you are now.
Yeah.
At that point in your life, will you be hiring people or paying people to do certain things that you're doing yourself now?
100%.
100%.
Without a
like
doubt.
what? Name one thing you would pay somebody to do for you.
Like you, I have a whole list. Editing would be great. I think even researching like guests would be another thing.
Okay.
Anything monotonous. Well, I shouldn't say that because I enjoy editing and I enjoy the research.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like
you've got limited bandwidth.
Yeah. Anything that's going to take up too much time.
Okay. So editing and guest reach out. All right. 10 years from now, you'd have the money to do that. Great. Now, would you say that your time here on Earth is finite?
Yes.
Yes?
100%. Yeah.
In 10 years from now, your time will be worth so much that it would be stupid for you to do it yourself, right?
Correct.
So why are you doing it now?
That's exactly. That's the exact same. That's the exact.
Because you're not going to get that time back.
I'm not, but I'm also not 10 times making 10 times more in the income.
Right. But you will be.
But I will be. And I think there's also another thing of if I don't do this work right now, I can't train somebody up on it to do it exactly the way I would think of doing it. Mm-hmm. Which I think there's an aspect of letting go, but there's also an aspect of if they're not doing it correctly and I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be screwed.
Right.
I'm going to be paying somebody out of pocket that I'm got no idea.
Right.
But also, I think you're right. Like, I'm curious on the research side of things, for sure scheduling, but research side of like, so when I go through and I research somebody like you who has like all of these beautiful things to talk about and have lived, would they find the same key things that I would think is significant, you know?
Now, you've done the best research out of any podcast I've been on.
Oh, wow.
I'm really impressed with that.
I'll take that.
That would be hard to train somebody to do. I don't know if you got a system for that, but if you could teach somebody that would be amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because it takes time. It takes, and
How long did you research this? I'm curious.
I don't want to tell you.
Because you've turned over some old Instagram posts. I can tell.
This has probably been between 10 and 12 hours.
10 to 12 hours?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
And how do you keep notes of it?
I have two sections. One's called questions and the other one's called the meat. And the meat is everything that I find that I think is interesting to talk about.
That's cool. That's really cool.
But I've never shared that strategy before. So, man, how fun.
We got it out of him. We got out the strategy.
Yeah.
Hope there's no competitors listening.
Yeah, seriously. So what are you going to say? Because the other thing is creativity. How do you train creativity? You got to hire someone with the right creativity.
Well, yeah. But people can also bring their own creativity to the table.
Which is true. And I think that's almost better than what I could bring. I think a lot of times having a team do something collectively on my behalf is going to be far better than what I could do.
Totally. So this is something I've been toying with this idea. And if I had some more time if I could have 1 month just to chill on a beach and think, I think I would come up with a good answer to this. But the dilemma is that your time's going to be worth more in the future. Yeah. And you're doing things now that in 10 years it would be stupid for you to spend your time on them.
Right.
Because your time's worth way more than that.
Right.
So why not just pay people to do that now and achieve that goal instead of 10 years from now, 8 years from now? And be able to contribute more, do the things that you're actually good and talented at and love doing. Yeah. Focus your time on that. And the scapegoat here is you're going to say, oh, well, I can't afford to do that now. But you can get a credit card. You can get a loan. If you truly believe in yourself, would that not be the best investment you can make in your life?
It's 100% true.
So I'm toying with that idea of just going balls out, starting to pay people to do everything I don't like doing.
Yeah.
Starting to invest a lot more in myself, my own distribution channels, my own projects, and blow those up. Really go hardcore on the investment. Know that I'm not going to see a return for maybe a couple of years, but it will come. Yeah.
You've been in the situation where you've been bleeding money before, you know?
Yep.
And you turn it around. You have a good track record of it. Mm-hmm. And it seems it would. Oh, dude. Because they say the best investment you can make is it's not in anything but yourself, you know?
Totally. I mean, because who's got control over your money if you put it into a stock?
That's true.
It's some other dickhead, and he doesn't have your interests at mind.
Yeah.
You've got your interests at mind.
That's a great point.
So if you're confident in your abilities and you've done a bit of learning about your craft and you know yourself, just go balls out on you.
Shoot, are you gonna do it? You got a game plan? Are you mapping out the game plan?
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it. I'm still tweaking the details, but I'm gonna go for it. You'll be seeing some pretty cool things the next year or two.
Okay.
You know what? You have a lot of question marks.
You know, you need to keep me up to date on this because I might have to do the same. I have a similar game plan going on that might come to fruition come August, but
okay,
you're pushing me to think that there's more to be done.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I got to hear about that.
Yeah, that's dope. We have a few more questions.
All right, let's go.
A few more questions is, I like asking people about their friends because I think a lot of times who we choose to continuously hang out with is, it becomes who we are. So you have a friend, Larry Lapointe, who seems like he has somewhat of an interesting story too. And this is all I know. Was in prison, went door-to-door sales, and now is some sort of successful investor. How did you meet him, and why are you guys friends?
Okay, so, oh man, this could bring up a lot of other topics too. We got a limited time. So Larry, I actually met on the boardwalk in Pacific Beach.
Oh wow!
I was riding my electric skateboard.
Yeah,
and I think he had one out there. No, he didn't have his skateboard on, but he's out there parked with his Ferrari. And I'm like, damn, like this dude's got it going on. He's got the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I was riding by on my skateboard, and they like said something about it. So I went over and started chatting with him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got a boosted board. And we started talking, and I showed him the board, got him on it. And I was like, yeah, I could like make one custom for you.
Yeah.
With the Ferrari design on it if you want like one off or something like that. And we traded numbers, whatever, and got in contact. He ordered a couple boards.
Dope.
And went and delivered them for him, and we just became friends. Like we went out for a ride.
Yeah.
And slowly like cultivated this relationship. And I just asked him about his past, like, what does he do? How did he become successful? And I found out this dude's got an amazing story. He at a very young age, like 19 or something.
Yeah.
Went to prison. Did something stupid.
Yeah.
He was involved with the wrong people, went to prison, got out, and he's like, I want to turn my life around. I want to get a legit job. And started doing door-to-door sales for a telephone company, trying to get people to switch their plans. And he just killed it at that. Went from that to starting a branch of the company with that company. It's a huge company. They're like, you're so good at it. Like, can you start the whole branch for it?
Wow. Yeah.
And he started making a lot of money there. And then he got in a motorcycle wreck.
Oh, no.
After he's making all this money, he had this hot motorcycle, crashed it, broke his neck.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was paralyzed for 9 months.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think he had some really good mentors to kind of pull his hand and show him how they had been successful. And he learned about like The Secret. He learned about a lot of those things that helped him out. And it's led him to be able to deliver a lot of value and to get what he wants and to make money and be successful. Yeah. And do whatever it takes to get there. Yeah. And hanging out with him, I've learned so much. I've learned a lot in the short time I've known him. He's a great dude. We're both business oriented, super talented guy. Yeah. So I love hanging out and learning a few things from my senior when it comes to, I guess, business successes and also years in life.
Yeah. No, you can't beat that.
Totally.
Sounds like a great person to hang out with. Yeah.
Totally. He's a great dude.
Second friend is Demi Bagby.
Demi Bagby.
Yeah. How did you meet her? Because she seems adrenaline oriented junkie, like kind of how you are. Yeah. How did you meet her? Why do you stick around?
So, all right. So I was also on the PB boardwalk.
Oh my gosh. You mean everybody that
I'm out. I was taking the crew. We had a new bike. We were trying to get people on the bike to try it out. And we were like 4 people. We ride over there. And I'm going this way. And she's going the opposite direction on the boardwalk. And I see in the distance, like, beautiful girl on an electric skateboard. Yeah. And I'm getting ready to launch my electric skateboard brand, Miles, at the time. And I see her whiz past. And I'm like, you guys, I'll be back. And I just hit the brakes. Do a U-turn, and I just catch up to her. I was like, oh, hey, like, I had to come say hi, like, cool board. Just start chatting to her. And that's how we met. I told her we were making a skateboard. I'd love for her to try it out. And, we ended up getting her a board and making like a board together with her. And we both have very similar personalities, like complete send it. She's a total adrenaline junkie. So we've made really good friends since then. And she's an awesome, awesome girl. She really inspired me a lot when it comes to social media because she just doesn't give a fuck.
She goes for it,
She'll just go for it and post. And it's really amazing. So I'm blessed to be able to learn from her. Despite her being over 10 years younger than me,
no way.
I've learned a lot from her,
Oh, wow. I would never have guessed. Rob, I could ask you questions all day. I really could. But we're coming to the close of the podcast, and I got one more final question for you before we give it a big old send off. And it's a tough one.
All right.
What would you say would be the best first step for someone who's looking to turn their passion into their career?
Best first step for someone learning to turn their passion into their career. Number one is figure out what your passion is.
Yeah.
That's absolutely number one. It's probably the hardest part of this equation.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, I know what I'm passionate about, but I don't know if that's the exact passion. I think it's always changing. So figuring out, asking yourself, like, if I had no responsibilities, I didn't have to make money, what would I spend my time doing?
Yeah.
What do I spend my time talking about? Ask your friends, like, yo, what am I always talking about?
Yeah.
And that's probably something you're super passionate about. And go figure out then, like, okay, how can I get better at it?
Mm-hmm.
And how can I deliver this to more people?
Yeah.
Because whatever it is you're passionate about is probably 99.99999% sure there's other people who would be passionate about or into it.
Yeah.
And you can definitely make a very good business out of it.
Yeah. 100%. Man, I'm gonna ask my friends literally what am I talking about all the time.
Hell yes.
That's great.
What is it for
advice.
you? What's your passion?
Man, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm similar to you where I have so many interests so right now I think it's the podcast. I love making videos. And I'm really interested in like personal finance.
Okay.
But I wouldn't think I would want to make a career out of that. So I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll give it time.
You got some soul searching to do.
Yeah. I mean, we'll dig down. We'll figure it out.
Hell yeah.
Rob, you have been absolutely fantastic. This has been great. Where can we find you on the internet?
Hit me up on Instagram at rob.rast, R-A-S-T, or check out our newest product, the Baby Maker. If you want to see how we launched that and raised $1 million in 11 hours, it's flx.bike/babymaker.
Baby Maker, baby.
Yeah, check it out, baby.
And that's everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Rob, thanks for being on the show. Bye.